Peace, this is Moyana. Welcome back to my channel. I'm at work right now, but I just wanted to come and drop a quick message that came to me while I was walking to get lunch. I'm gonna try to make this quick because I hope my phone doesn't die because my battery depletes very quickly. But I just want to show you something. So I've been at my job for about a year now, and these trees were so much more smaller than what they are now. Of course, continuous growth. Everything in nature is growing. If it isn't growing, it's dying. But if you look here, you can start to see how the tree is forming. When I got here, it was all green. As you see, like these branches and stems, they're still green because they're still forming and maturing. But the actual trunk, as it's getting bigger, is starting to turn brown, and then it hit me in regards to color frequency and whatnot. Green represents the heart chakra. It is the center chakra, it's the chakra of unconditional love. And brown represents the root chakra. It's the grounding chakra, the foundation. It's what keeps you stable and secure. And it just kind of jumped out at me. Sometimes, like when we get on this spiritual path, we're constantly trying to ascend. Everybody's trying to ascend and transcend. Means we're trying to rise, we're trying to grow. And ultimately that's the goal. As you see, trees are growing upwards. Everything is growing up towards the sun. But the beginning stages, we need to kind of take a step back and understand. When new life is being formed in a mother's womb, the very first organ that develops is the heart. Like, it's literally the heart. It is the center chakra manifested in physical form in its organ type, which is the heart. Hence, plants, trees, as they grow, they start off as green. And then once it continues to grow, once you continue to grow, then everything else is formed. I don't know the order. Once I learned the heart, that's all I needed to know. Everything else forms around. And it's the same with nature. As you can see, this tree, after being green for so long, after it's getting solidified, the trunk and the stem is starting to turn brown, which is grounding. So that's symbolic, not in the sense of descension, but when planting your roots, when growing, you have to go down sometimes. It's like you have to descend to ascend higher. It's following the law of polarity. It's the same thing when you plant seeds in the ground when you're trying to reap a harvest. Once you plant the seed, which is technically lower, the seed representing the heart in a sense, you put it in the ground. So you put it at its lowest point, and then when it opens and it starts to sprout life, it still doesn't grow upward. It sprouts roots first. The roots come first, which means something is extended downward. Something is descended to reach the core. And the earth's core is just symbolic of our core, which is our sun, like our internal sun. We have an internal and an external. The core represents our internal sun, our hidden sun, our Amun-Ra, our soul. And that is what we're trying to tap into on this path of ascension. The only way out is in, meaning the only way up is down. Like, I hope that really makes sense. Like, when I walked past and I saw these trees, they're so much taller. I have a very strong connection with trees. They're always speaking to me, sending me signals, sending me messages. And something made me stop and just look at them today. Like, wow, y'all have gotten so tall, so big, so fast. And then seeing them starting to turn brown, it almost gave me like just a sense of joy. And it made me proud to see them getting solid. And as they continue to grow, not only do they turn brown, but the trunk gets bigger, it gets thicker, which means it gets more solid, it gets more strong. And that's the same thing that happens with us. We all want to stay grounded. We say we have to get our foundation straight, but in order to get to your foundation, in order to get to your root, you have to go through your heart. And in order to get through your heart, you have to heal. And you do that in unconditional love. You have to face the hidden parts of yourself. You're going through the heart to the root, to your inner core, to your inner soul, your hidden soul. And you have to face the shadows that stand in the way. All those shadows are just aspects of you. I did a reading yesterday for a friend, and we were talking about the parts of ourselves that hinder us. And he was saying, I'm always wrestling with my demons. But I texted him back and I was just like, instead of wrestling with them, why don't you stop and figure out why they're there in the first place? They're simply just aspects of you that didn't receive what they needed to. And now that they are your shadows, they are dark in essence, which means they are negative. They have the feminine frequency, which means they're consuming. They are hungry and they need to consume in order to live. But if you don't give them what they need, they will consume whatever in your existence until they do. And ultimately what they need is love. It all comes back sometimes from our inner child, our traumatic experiences, the parts of ourselves as children that we hold on to for so long that went in a state of lack. Sometimes it could be a mother's love, it could be a father's love, sibling love, just trauma that you experienced, situations that you experienced, things that kind of hindered you, that set you back, that held you back, and you haven't let go of it. So it's all held in your heart chakra, and you're not moving forward, which is hindering the stability of your tree trunks. It's hindering your grounding. It's hindering the foundation that you're trying to establish for yourself, which is happening right now. All these old karmic cycles are ending all at once, and we're trying to start anew. But until you can move forward and grow from your place of unconditional love in your heart chakra, you have to heal. You have to face the shadows. When you plant a seed in soil, it's darkness. You plant it in complete darkness, because that is where the real work takes action. It takes form. So I just wanted to get on here and share that message. I don't know. These trees look extra beautiful today. Just seeing them come into I don't know, teenager mode or young adult mode. Like, I work for a nonprofit with high school seniors, and I'm already anticipating them graduating in May, and I'm gonna be so proud. So maybe that's what this kind of represented to me, just seeing them grow, and these trees grow in their own time, in their own essence, not rushing the process, not stressing the process, just naturally being in their own element and in their own essence, and doing so without hindrance, without block, without lack, without trying and struggling to do. It's happening on its own. All right, so just think about that. The first organ that develops of a child in the mother's womb is the heart, and then everything else follows. The same way as nature, it starts to grow. It's green, and once it turns brown, once it solidifies. Same with us. We start in our heart chakra. We start in a sense of unconditional love, and we grow and solidify on that frequency. And then what's to come, ultimate growth, ultimate